Good evening, council members. My name is Alex Crowley. I'm the Director of Economic and Sustainable Development, or ESD. Thank you for the opportunity to present the department's 2021 budget for your consideration. And thanks to the Mayor's Office and the Controller team for their help with the budget. This evening, I will summarize our recent accomplishments, highlight key initiatives for 2021, point to some specific funding changes for 2021, and then separately, at the end, I will summarize our 2021 Recover Forward requests. I look forward to your questions at the end of my presentation. I trust everybody can see my screen. Okay. So now I'm having a little technical issue. One second, please. There we go. Okay. First, allow me to introduce my ESD colleagues. They include 6 highly capable, motivated, and talented individuals, each with their distinct role supporting ESDs and the administration's priorities. They are Lauren Travis, Assistant Director of Sustainability, Sean Starowitz, Assistant Director for the Arts, Jane Cooper-Smith, Assistant Director for Small Business Development, Rachel Byer, Local Food Coordinator, a 3-year position co-funded by the U.S. Department of Agriculture through Purdue University, Kaisa Goodman, Special Projects Manager. Thank you again for your approval of her position, which was new to the department in 2020, and Marnina Patrick, Customer Service Representative and the glue keeping us all together. ESD is a small team that more often than not finds itself in the thick of and often leading some of the administration's most visible priorities. It is my distinct honor to serve alongside these remarkable public servants. The department works to cultivate a resilient community built on shared prosperity, inclusive economic opportunity, environmental stewardship, and a thriving arts and culture ecosystem. In other words, our mission is to enhance the quality of life for all residents, especially underserved populations in Bloomington. Our areas of concentration are sustainability, including environmental sustainability, economic sustainability, and equity, support for arts and culture, entrepreneurship and small business support, as well as more extensive economic development projects. To accomplish our goals, our small team depends upon myriad partners inside and outside the city. They are too numerous to list, but we could not do our work without them, and we very much appreciate those strong partnerships. Before I get into the details of our 2020 accomplishments and our 2021 proposed budget, I would like to frame the moment we're in as a community, country, and world, and how that informs not just what ESD has been doing in 2020, but also how we have reset our plans for 2021 and beyond. As Edward Glaser writes in his book, Triumph of the City, a city is not its structures, it is its people. And COVID is having a devastating impact on the people of Bloomington. Whether shop owners, artists, employees of our major employers, or small businesses, the newly unemployed or the chronically unemployed, white, Black, Latinx, Asian, the young, the old, COVID is hurting everyone in some way. And as you know, the pandemic has attacked the economically vulnerable especially hard, much like it has attacked those with pre-existing health vulnerabilities. The economically vulnerable portion of the population is the least able to withstand this disruption. According to a recent McKinsey report, 86% of the US jobs that are vulnerable to pay cuts, lost hours, and layoffs are held by workers earning less than $40,000 a year. People of color and less educated workers disproportionately work in those occupations. And 40% of the revenues of Black-owned businesses are generated in the 5 most vulnerable sectors, compared with 25% of the revenues of all businesses. As we review our recent accomplishments with you, it should be no surprise, therefore, that we've spent much of our time as a department these past few months with your critical support, focused on the impact of COVID, including these and other specific actions taken since last March of this year. The Rapid Response Loan Program, reopening support, the online farmers market, and accelerated arts funding for operations support. 2020 has been a year of stress and change for our community, and frankly, for the department team itself. And ESD has helped the city's response to the pandemic, its resulting economic devastation, and its search for racial justice and climate justice. As an organization, we've learned to adapt and to find opportunities to become more efficient in delivering our department's core services. We've recognized in ourselves and in our colleagues a resilience and surprising flexibility as these multiple crises have continued to throw new challenges at us. And yet, even as we see that COVID continues to disrupt plans across the community, we are optimistic about the future, determined to help the community emerge stronger than before, and confident that the people of Bloomington, all of us together, will continue to work hard and support each other as we prepare for what will surely be a difficult period ahead of us. So, it's a tribute to the ESD team that even as we have reeled somewhat from the past several months while we adjusted to a different way of doing business, ESD has continued to move forward with initiatives to which we have previously committed. Following are some highlights of our other recent activities. In the area of sustainability and local food, we completed an important greenhouse gas inventory for 2018, an action laid out in the Sustainability Action Plan, and an inventory backcast using the new updated methodology that will allow us to compare emission trends over the last decade and standardize future trends. This inventory informed the development of the Mayor's Climate Action Cabinet Group. We completed a climate vulnerability assessment earlier this year and are in progress on a significant effort to complete a corresponding climate action plan by the end of the year. We continue to support renewable energy projects across the community, including Solarize and Solar for All, and have made significant headway in the local food arena, including completing a local food marketplace needs assessment and crafting plans for a farm stop concept inspired by our friends in Ann Arbor. In the area of business relations and economic development, we're working closely with the 2 garage teams, one for the Trades District and one for the 4th Street Garage, as well as the hospital site reuse teams to help facilitate these significant municipal investments. While it may seem strange to some that we're working on these projects during the throes of a pandemic, it is precisely this kind of long-term investment that will allow Bloomington to recover stronger and thrive in the future. Additionally, we continue to aggressively support small businesses in town and are adapting our systems to streamline and improve our business licensing and permitting, as well as the terrific programs of the Bloomington Urban Enterprise Association. And finally, we are pressing ahead with a number of public arts projects, including a very exciting collaboration with the Columbus Area Arts Council called Paper Pavilions, which opens October 1. We continue to strengthen the Bloomington Entertainment and Arts District under its new branding and strategic plan, and are working with the arts community on salary and operating efficiency planning to strengthen them for the future. So as you see, while certainly COVID threw a monkey wrench into our plans, we are also staying as focused as possible on pre-pandemic commitments as we progress through 2020. Turning now to 2021 and some key budget initiatives detailed in your budget memo. Our focus on sustainability with particular emphasis on the risks of climate change to our most vulnerable populations, increases significantly with the combined 2021 budget and 2021 Recover Forward proposals. If there's a silver lining to COVID, it's that the pandemic has exposed in stark relief the long-term impacts of climate change that we might not have perceived as clearly as a result of our relative adaptability as humans. Instead, we see in real time how exposed the most vulnerable populations truly are. Our 2021 budget, therefore, further focuses our efforts to support them and the community as a whole in managing climate hazards, finding efficiencies and diversification of energy sources, and increasing access to food, especially local food. It should be noted, what you see represented in ESD's budget only scratches the surface of the sustainability investments the ESD team and our city colleagues make across city operations in the community. By our estimates, the city will invest more than $40 million across its operations in sustainability and climate-related projects in 2021. This includes significant investments by CDU, parks, and a number of other departments. Thus, ESD's relatively modest budget is part of a much larger picture, funding effort designed to help our community address the significant climate challenges before us. One area of concentration within the department's sustainability efforts is local food. Building upon the local food needs assessment that I referred to earlier, our efforts in this area will focus on 3 projects: supporting the startup of a farm stop that will further develop the marketplace for existing local growers and, importantly, shift greater market ownership to them. A farm to school initiative that will provide elementary schools students opportunities to visit local farms and eat locally grown food in their cafeterias, and an incubator farm project that will help to develop new farm businesses in our community with special priority and focus going to beginning farmers, women, and people of color. You will see these programs highlighted in the budget, in addition to other projects we're developing to strengthen the link between local growers and institutional buyers. COVID has highlighted the frailty of our local small and mid-sized business ecosystem, including our dependence upon students and the university community to fuel many of our downtown businesses. You may recall that recently smartasset.com assessed Bloomington as the college town most economically vulnerable of all college towns in the United States during COVID-19. With your help, which the community very much appreciates, we have been nimble and responsive thus far to address some of that weakness, but significant work remains to be done. In 2021, this will include continued programs to aid in COVID recovery, continuing our focus on minority-owned and women-owned businesses, support to businesses to help them address systemic racism, programs to help businesses and employees lower their reliance on a single occupancy vehicle commuting, which is both a climate-related and economic benefit, and further expansion of the role of the Bloomington Urban Enterprise Association in COVID recovery and beyond. And at the same time, we will continue to press forward with major economic development initiatives to help position Bloomington to emerge stronger and more vibrant in the future. We will be more deliberate about using incentives to attract and grow jobs in the new economy, including the green economy, and jobs that will pay a higher wage than many of our tourism-related jobs currently pay. We will focus on the next generation of sector growth, building upon the success of the mill and other technology initiatives underway, to pursue a federal grant from the Economic Development Administration to realize Bloomington's competitive position in technology development, including artificial intelligence, machine learning, and other next generation technologies in close cooperation with the university. And our work will continue to focus on leveraging the significant investments we've been making in the Trades District and hospital site, both of which are designed to strengthen the Bloomington and the regional economy for decades to come. And finally, underpinning it all, our quality of life, as exemplified by Bloomington's long-standing commitment to and leadership in its arts and culture assets. Whether Bloomington's rich music and theater scene, its painters and sculptors and designers, or its restaurants and public spaces, Bloomington's rich landscape of cultural assets has put to an extreme test over the past several months, underscoring the fact that many of these cultural assets are living hand to mouth even under normal circumstances. Our department will redouble our efforts to buttress these many organizations directly and indirectly, whether through the arts facilities we support, direct commissions to artists that make our public installations, or the many organizations that work each day to make our lives better. As Pablo Picasso once said, art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. Turning now to some specific budget changes in 2021. As the mayor noted in his opening remarks on Monday, and to help you better understand our 2021 budget request, we have separated out the baseline ESD budget from 2021 stimulus funding requests. Let me begin here with some changes in the baseline 2021 ESD budget. Our overall budget is increasing $50,394 or 5.1% over 2020's budget. Category 1, which is personnel, increases by $84,073. This is largely attributable to the wages and benefits associated with the new transportation demand management position that will reside in our department. Category 2, which is for supplies, is an increase of $30,650 and includes funding for an initial phase of moving city facilities to zero waste in the next couple of years, and some additional support for green team programs, an effort designed to cultivate sustainable practices from within the organization. And category 3 helps to offset the increase in the other two categories with a net decrease of $64,329 year over year. We will be wrapping up our climate vulnerability and planning work this year, ending the $50,000 per year investment in that process we have borne in 2019 and 2020. But we will also be adding important software functionality for energy tracking and grant management within the organization. You have all of the detailed information in your budget packet. Here is a summary of the net impacts of our 2021 budget and comparisons over the previous several years. Again, this is the subtotal associated with ESD's baseline operating budget, excluding recover forward investments. So now let me turn to recover forward for 2021. We appreciate your recent approval of 2019 reversion monies to help us make counter-cyclical 2020 recover forward investments in the community. Our department is already beginning to implement programs in support of that initial tranche of investment. ESD has been tasked with managing additional 2021 recover forward programs and funding with your approval, totaling $1.13 million. As you will see here, much of that investment is a continuation of 2020 recover forward investments, if they are successful. We are proposing to continue low income and small business energy conservation investments, local agricultural support, which I mentioned is a key outcome of the local food needs assessment earlier in my presentation, and the completion of the Farm Stop launch. We are proposing a significant investment in the arts for operating support to help arts organizations and individual artists emerge from COVID next year, including interim operating funding for the John Walter Art Center, an historic and important arts facility in the community. The scope of that exact funding support is currently being evaluated. And we are proposing continued funding for job training and life sciences job support programs, which will be implemented starting in the second half of the year. I will note that we'll be learning about the effectiveness of some of these programs in the months ahead and will be able to adjust funding support and program design based on key performance indicators, or KPIs, we are embedding in each program so that 2021 funding can be directed to the most successful elements of the total Recover Forward package. Here's a summary of the breakdown of how the 2021 Recover Forward funding would become categorized within our budget with your approval of the request. Again, this chart is only the 2021 Recover Forward funding and is distinct and separate from the previous chart, which reflected ESD's 2021 operating budget. Thank you again for your time and your attention this evening. Thank you for your support of the recent request we've made to help our community during these trying times. As I've said earlier, we're determined to help the community emerge stronger than before and confident that the people of Bloomington, all of us together, will continue to work hard and support each other as we prepare for what will surely be a difficult period ahead of us. I'm joined by my departmental colleagues, and we look forward to answering any questions you may have. Thank you.